Hi, guys. Hope you're having a great day. This is Fred and Sheila with Hatfield, McCoy Museum and Adventures and FS Investigates.
Hey guys, thanks for joining us. Once again, well, first of all, I've changed hats. My green hat don't go with that green screen behind us. So,
Right.
uh, speaking of behind us, that's Post 11, Kentucky State Police, Post 11 in London, Kentucky.
Right.
That's where Johnny Edrington worked out of, State Trooper Johnny Edrington,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where Doug Asher, captain at the time, Doug Asher worked. Doug Asher went on to write a book, co-write a book,
Mm-hmm.
in
Co-op.
there on page co-author. Thank you, babe. Page 207 in there starts a chapter called The Big Gray Cover Up.
Right.
Guys, if you're not familiar with what we're covering here on Johnny Edrington, we've got several videos. I see where people comment and they'll say, have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? Well, if you'll go back to the first video, probably the second video, because the first one, we actually believe that it was a
Yeah.
S side. Sheila and I don't believe that way no more. But if you'll go back from the first and start with our videos, it may help you better understand what we're covering and how far we've got, where we're at. Um, Somebody asked yesterday, how many of these videos you going to do? When you going to start covering something else? Guys, can't tell you that. We don't know. It's wherever the good Lord leads us. I know that may sound weird to some people. It's not
Mm-hmm.
to Sheila and I.
Right.
Sheila and I, who in the world would have thought that Sheila and I, we set out on a date night and we said, let's go find Joseph Couch. And 6 days later, the good Lord led us to Joseph Couch
Mm-hmm.
through his birds and Sheila's nose, but he led us to Joseph Couch. Now, who would have thought in a Daniel Boone National Forest the size of Rhode Island that somebody was actually going to find Joseph Couch, needle in a haystack or worse?
Right.
Same way with this. Same way with this. Some people may look at this and think needle in a haystack. It's been 36 years. They've not solved it yet. You're not going to solve it. Guys, don't underestimate the power of God. And the Bible says, what's in darkness, he'll bring to light. And he may
What's done in the dark, this will be brought to the light. Yeah.
will be brought to light. And he may be going to bring this to light. It may be time to bring Johnny Edrington's death to light. We don't know. When we feel compelled to that we're done, we're done. He'll let us know. But as of right now, every time we say, okay, that's the last video, same way we did with Joseph Couch, ain't it, babe?
Yeah. Yeah.
Every night
Have
when
to.
we'd come home, we'd say, that's it. We're not going
Mm-hmm.
back, because every day was another trial. State police was jumping on us. They were rude. They were condescending. They were everything that could go wrong was our back, our knee, pain. We looking for an excuse not to go back. And then we get up next morning and go, same way it is here. Okay, that's the last video. That's if anybody wants to solve it now, they can. And then we'll wake up 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, or 1 o'clock or 12 o'clock last night, and be up the rest of the night working on it, because he gives us something else. And when he gives
Yeah.
it to us, we got to bring it out. We'll put it out. If it ever goes anywhere, it does. If it don't, but we may be sitting here, for you guys that followed us on the Joseph Couch case, you may be sitting here getting ready to watch another miracle, because that's what that was.
Yes.
They said they searched 28,000 acres and didn't find them, and we did him within 500 feet of where they stood at.
All right.
And what was that? Why is that? Same way with this. This what we're going to do here, guys. We're hoping we're going to take a different approach to this.
Mm-hmm.
I know some people think, oh, Fred, he's a this, he's that. Sometimes I word things maybe the wrong way. Sometimes I word them in a way that may be trying to get the attention of others, and
Mm-hmm.
made the comment on here that, hey, if the state police can't solve it, let us have it. We'll solve it. If the state police ain't, I try to, maybe that's trying to push the envelope. Maybe that's trying to push them to say, hey, let's go solve this, because that's mine and Sheila's go, is to see, boy, you look beautiful, baby.
Thanks.
Yeah, you look cute.
Thank you.
Um, y- I don't even know where I was at now, but I
You're
just
talking
looked over
about
and you was smiling. And I thought, wow, is that my wife?
uh,
Uh, go ahead.
you were talking about trying to push the envelope, get the
Yeah, and
state
trying to
police
get
to
them to r- open their investigation,
right.
trying to get them to put new eyes on it, trying to tease them through insults. Maybe it's not right. I don't know. I'll try anything at any time to get a means to an end if I think it will work. I don't care what people think about me. I don't care how I look or what. I just we want to see this case get solved.
That
Some
would
of
be
these pictures
amazing.
we're going to show you after a while may ring a bell to some of you. We need to know who these people are.
Yeah, we have some questions. Yeah.
So stick around and help us tell us who these people are. Now, this video here is going to be about Captain Doug Asher.
Okay.
Turned out to be a lieutenant colonel before he retired from the state police.
Uh-huh.
And this is going to be about him. The next video tomorrow is going to be about Dr.
Hunsaker.
Huntsinker. Huntsinker. And then we had a letter to put on here, had a letter to send out to some of these detectives and different people through Messenger.
Yeah.
And we thought, well, instead of sending the letter out, let's just ask them. Ask them in person. Detective Phelps, Detective Stewart, Detective Lewis, Colonel Asher, Dr. Huntsinker. Guys, we'd like for you to help us. We'd like for you to join in and help us with some questions people's got. I know some people are upset over rumors.
Yeah.
They don't like rumors. Well, this is the place where you might be able to clear them up. We might be able to help you clear those rumors up if they're rumors. You might be able to help us answer some of these questions that we can't get from the state police file. We can't get through an open records. We need your help. You know, these people want to help. I see them on Justice for Doug. I see them on different other sites, and they seem to want to help with other cases.
Right.
Help us with this one. You investigated it. You know more about it than anybody there is. And help us reach the same. Go ahead, babe.
Help us understand what's going on and what happened. Why it was considered an S side instead of a homicide.
Help us reach the same conclusion 6 of you guys did. Or what Mr. Asher says in his book that you all did. We don't know that.
Right.
We know what Mr. Asher put in his book. Now, we've also found things that Trooper Asher put in his book that have proved out to be not correct. She's working on me.
Yay.
And plus, we'd like to talk to Mr. Asher. So if Mr. Asher is going to agree to talk to us and give an interview, then I've got to learn how to be nice. I mean, we want to know what he's seen. We want to know what he knows, what he felt, why he felt that way. The same way with the detectives. We want to know their feelings.
Exactly.
We've also got some questions. We're hearing a lot of, and some of you may say, "Oh, that's a rumor. That's been around for years." Then let's dispel it. Let's dispel it. You know, we're going to get to it at the end. I'm not going to put it out there now, but there's a call it a rumor. We don't know that it's a rumor because it's been told to us as a fact from people in other agencies or
reliable sources.
Reliable sources. We believe them. Now, doesn't mean that still not a rumor. Could be a rumor. We don't believe it is, but it's real easy to dispel because Colonel Asher would have been in charge of it. Somebody else, another trooper, would have been part of it. So if it's true, own it and say, well, yeah, that happened, but it was nothing more than that. And if it's not true, say, that's just another rumor. You can drop it. Guys, I'm Page 207 is the hardest to write.
Mm-hmm.
It's time now to clear the air. Sheila's going to play a video, or parts of a video, because you can go watch the entire video on WLEX. Lee Searcy is one of the best reporters that's out there in television news. We feel
Mm-hmm.
not just Lee. She's with
There's-
LEX.
you're
There's
right.
some with WKYT, WYMT, Fox 56, Bill Estep with the Herald Leader, Lexington Herald Leader.
Mm-hmm.
There's several with Carrier Journal. I don't know if any of them still there that I used to know, but let's play the video or this part of it. Let's start this out. We're going to stop this about every other sentence, and y'all are going to help us try to figure out what's going on here.
Okay, here we go. Let me pull up the video. I gotta
Take your
find
time,
it because I
baby.
got a lot of.
I know that. There's a
Oh,
lot
here
of.
it is. Okay. And
LEX 18 investigates a case that's lingered for decades. A trooper fatally shot on the side of a Laurel County road. But now someone who was directly involved in the case has co-authored a book that brings into question just what happened. He says he's brought the information to Kentucky State Police before. And we do want to warn that this story discusses suicide. Case that's lingered for decades. A trooper fatally shot on the side of a Laurel County road. But now someone who was directly involved in the case has co-authored a book that brings into question just what happened. He says he's brought the information to Kentucky State Police before. And we do want to warn that this story.
there.
Guys, this is one of the pictures, and you're probably going to see it again as it comes up.
Mm-hmm.
We're probably going to show this picture 2 or 3 times because we've got different angles of it saved,
Mm-hmm.
and you might be able to view it better. First of all, right over top of Sheila's head there, I don't know if it shows up the same way. Your left is our right here, so it never shows up like there's a guy on that screen there that's in a state police coat, that gray coat right there in front. Who is that? It'll show his face a little bit after a while. Some of these guys, it shows them in and out.
Right.
But directly behind that trooper with the coat on is another guy in a red coat.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a red coat. He's got a baseball hat with looks like a badge on the front of it. I don't know if he's a local city police, if he's a coroner, what he is. But who are these people? You people that live there, because we've talked to you, some of you from back in that day that remember this.
Right.
You may know who those people are. Who's the guy kneeling down? Now, it looks like he's got a sheriff's insignia, either a deputy sheriff, a sheriff, or maybe the coroner, because back in the day, the coroner wore the same star with coroner in it. I don't know if they still do or not. Who's the guy bent down there in the Levi's? He's bending down. You'll see after a while what he's picking up.
Yeah.
And go ahead and play it.
Okay, let me get back here.
Discusses suicide.
Oh, there.
Lee
Go ahead,
Searcy
let's
has
play.
more.
In the book, Harlan County Sun, a decorated war veteran recounts growing up in eastern Kentucky, his 2 tours in Vietnam as a paratrooper, and his long 30-year career with Kentucky State Police. But it's the chapter on page 207 that retired Colonel Douglas Asher says was the hardest to write.
And I thought, well, it's time now to clear the air. Even though it's late, it's right. It's the right thing to do.
In the chapter, the big gray
cover up. He says it's the hardest thing to write. Time now to clear the air. It's the right thing to do. Now, we did a video way back. One of our first videos was Why Now?
Mm.
Why bring it up now? 35 years later when she's filming this. This was last year.
Mhm.
This is now 36 years later.
Right.
We're on the 36th year that he's been killed. And he says that he wants to clear it up before all the people are dead that knows anything about it. Before all the dead. Well, most exculpatory ones are dead. Most of the people that had exculpatory evidence that could have helped prove that this was not an S side,
Mm-hmm.
they're now deceased. Dr. Vincent so-and-so.
DeMaya.
and so forth. They're deceased. So no one can solve it. Go ahead, play the next. I want him to say his thing, and then
Okay.
I'll.
Cover up the true facts behind the death investigation of Trooper Johnny Edrington, Asher goes where no one has gone before, at least publicly.
Why bring it up now? I think it's time that we cleared this thing up before we all died and can't talk back. I think it's time to clear this mess up.
Asher was the KSP post commander in London on December 20th, 1988, the night Trooper Johnny Edrington was found dead of a gunshot wound while on duty. To this day, his homicide case remains open and unsolved.
You can't solve a homicide that didn't happen.
In the book,
You can't solve a homicide that didn't happen.
Mhm.
You also can't solve a homicide that's being investigated as a suicide, as a S side. You can't solve a homicide if you've already ruled it a S side.
Right.
If you're not investigating the leads that's coming in as a homicide, and you're saying, "Hey, this was a S side," there's no need to follow on that lead up. Who are these men in the photos?
Right.
Post in the comments, guys, if you're from back then. If you know who they are. If you don't know for a fact who they are, please don't confuse us in case we get another person that says this is that one. And if you
Mhm.
don't know them, don't guess. Just wait and let somebody, because somebody from Laurel County will recognize these guys. Because it's not going to be everybody
Right.
that's allowed to be
At the scene
at the scene of a death where a trooper
of a homicide.
of a homicide. To Sheila and I,
Yeah. Sorry about that, guys.
we would love to talk to those people that you see in that photo. We've counted four troopers. We've counted two guys in Levi's and white tennis shoes.
Mm-hmm.
The guy in the red jacket. Reason why they already heard detective at the scene make the comment that it was a S side. Play the next one. We're just going to take our time. This is going to be a short video.
Nope.
Is this already 17 minutes?
Yep.
Woo, time flies.
When you're
Okay.
having fun.
I don't know if we're having fun, but okay, go ahead and play it.
Asher says it was the unanimous decision of all those investigators, as well as the county coroner and assistant state medical examiner, that Trooper Edrington's gunshot wound was self-inflicted. I've talked
Self-inflicted. It was the unanimous decision of all those involved, him and the three detectives, the coroner and the medical examiner, that it was a S side. Well, you're going to find out tomorrow in the video with Dr. Huntsinger. Initially, he was undecided, but we'll discuss that in his video.
Mhm.
So here, once again, Asher in his book is saying what he believes, but what he believes and what other people say, and sometimes it's two different things from what we're finding out. He says that the command staff went to his post. The reason why they had already heard, the reason they went to the post and said this is going to be investigated as a homicide is because within an hour or two at the scene, probably some of those people out there working the scene right now that you saw the pictures of, somebody has already mentioned that this is a S side. Command staff, Asher was out of town at that time. He says that the command staff went to his post 11, and told the men, this is a homicide, investigated as such, or you don't need to be here.
If any of you think it's other than that,
Yeah.
then you don't need to be here. Yeah.
An hour or two within the time frame of this trooper, this Army veteran, been found deceased on the side of the road, we're ready to call it a S side. And the reason why he was given that speech is he had already heard the command staff. That's why he said that. He had already heard somebody say, yep, this is a S side. And he's saying, no, this is too fast. We're not calling it a S side this fast. We got to investigate this. Reason why they'd already heard. 8 men there, guys. There's 2 in white tennis shoes with Levi's, 1 in a red coat with a baseball hat, possibly got a badge on the front of it. I guess we should play the video and go to after the video where you can bring up the pictures where we can look at them. You want to?
Yeah.
Finish the video out and then we'll pick up.
Talked to several of them who confirmed that, including the current Laurel County coroner who was on the scene with the coroner at the time, his father. But Asher claims he got pressure from those above him back then to investigate it as a homicide.
But the command staff, one of them went to the post before I even got back to the post and told the investigators, if anybody here
You go by
considers
this one,
this
not the way.
anything other than a homicide, they don't need to be working at this post.
Asher says the evidence is what led his detectives to conclude it was not a homicide. He says his post, the local coroner, and state pathologists were essentially removed from the case.
Well, the logistics was he had the gun in his hand. There was no sign of a struggle. It was a contact wound. It was right here. He had the gun. The gun was still in his hand.
Well, this is Highway 80 in Laurel County, where Trooper Johnny Edrington was found dead from a gunshot wound. He was found lying over in a ditch that direction. Retired Colonel Asher says some higher-ups believe there were signs of a struggle because there was a dent in his hood. But Asher says his uniform appeared untouched. Both Dr. Hunsaker and retired Colonel Asher tell us they're sympathetic to the sensitive nature of sharing these details of the case.
And Johnny Edrington was a good fella, and his family were outstanding. His parents were just outstanding people. I knew both of them well.
There might be some who say Trooper Edrington has been dead for 35 years. Let it lie.
Let them say it. The truth is the only way to go. Even if it's ugly, if it's hard to deal with, the easiest way out of everything is just to tell the truth.
In Laurel County, Lee Searcy, LEX 18 News.
Kentucky State Police say this case remains under investigation as a murder. They say, and it's a quote, "We will not rest until the case is resolved," end quote.
Watch what? Okay.
Won't bring one of them other pictures up now, if you would. Any of them.
Just a second. I'm going to remove
It's
this
okay.
one. And we'll go to the first one here.
Okay. Not going to rest until it's solved. It's been 36 years. Boy, I bet there's some tired troopers out there.
There we go.
Not going to rest until it's solved.
There's
some of the pictures. Guys, I want to go over some of the things that Trooper Asher said there.
Okay.
Asher says his post, the local coroner, and state pathologists were removed from the case.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that? Why were they removed from the case? Were they removed from the case because they thought it was a S side, or were they removed because there were so many mistakes being made on the case? And Johnny Edrington's parents, Jack and Patty, requested that Captain Asher at the time be removed. See, they were so convinced, they were so within an hour or two wanting to prove that it was something that apparently it was not.
Mm-hmm.
They were so bent out of shape over that there was mistakes been made. And Jack and Patty complained about it, and the file was moved to Frankfort. And Trooper Asher was taken off the case. Nothing was supposed to go through him. Now, remember, 3 detectives still worked at Post 11. So if you think they didn't discuss things with their boss, I think had the gun in hand. Trooper Asher mentions 3 to 4 times within a short period of time. 3 to 4 times. Had his gun in his hand. Had his gun in his hand. He still had his gun. Had the gun in his hand. One of the most common types of homicide there is to disguise it as a suicide. That's one of the oldest books in the tricks in the book. Is to disguise, kill, put a gun in their hand, put a note, make them hold a gun on, make them write a note. I'm going to off myself. Throw the note down, off them, and then it's a S side. Oldest tricks in the book. Even in the old days, they may still do it today. With my page for um, Fred McCoy 40, with that page with all these police officers I'm videoing now, putting up, probably still goes on today, no doubt. I know in the old days they'd say they would carry a throwaway gun, a plank gun, in case they ever shot anybody that didn't need shooting. They have something to throw down. That's a shame, but that's the way some police officers think. Look at Madlock, Perry Mason, Columbo, CSI. Go through their seasons. You won't only find one, you'll probably find several where the storyline for that show was where somebody offed somebody and then planted a gun on them or a S note or something to make it look like that. Within an hour to 2 hours to 3 hours, this bunch had already declared this S side. Is that not funny to nobody else? Not funny, not funny, haha, funny, but
Strange.
strange. Thank you, babe.
Would you like another picture?
Yes, I would, baby. Yes, I would.
Okay.
Who are these guys? Who are these people? As you're looking through these,
Sorry.
no, it's
wrong
okay.
thing.
You're okay. As you're looking through these
There you
pictures,
go.
I know. See, you can't see but one face on this one. You may have to get the face there for the guy in the red jacket.
Yeah.
Who is the guy in the red jacket? Who is the guy bent over? Go ahead and go to the next one.
Okay. Here's number 3.
Okay.
See if you can see a little bit
Who
better.
are these troopers standing there? You've got, look at their feet, look at the stripes going down their pants and black raincoats. Now, first of all, let's notice the raincoats and the rain covers on their hats. See, Johnny Edrington would have had a rain cover on his hat, but his hat was left in his car. So he may not have had a rain cover on. He may not have taken the time to put the rain cover on and didn't want to get his hat wet, or somebody that he knew, or he had to get out of the car so rapidly he didn't have time to put his hat on. That wasn't his concern.
Yeah.
Somebody was approaching his vehicle. Now, you've got 3 troopers right there in front. You've got the 2, see the raincoat with the black stripe going down the legs of his gray pants. You got the one facing us, Kentucky State Police, with his back toward us, rather.
Okay.
And directly in front of him, you'll see a hat tilted forward. That's somebody facing those 2. That's 3 troopers right there.
Okay.
Look at the pairs of tennis shoes. You've got 2 pair of tennis shoes,
Yeah.
2 pair of white tennis shoes. They have blue jeans on with white tennis shoes. These 2 gentlemen do. Who are they? Who is that? What does that coat have on the back of it? Does it have fire department, rescue squad? Does it have? We don't know. He's got a red coat on, baseball hat. Looks like there's a badge on the front of the baseball hat. Do you see the yellow sheet, the yellow whatever that is, laying there on the ground? That's laying parallel to the highway.
Okay.
Now you've got to understand, we don't have the report, but from what we have, when Johnny Edrington fell back, he fell perpendicular to the road. So that if you'll take that yellow sheet there, turn it around till the head of it is pointed down in that ditch line, that would have been the way that Johnny was laying with both arms back over his head.
Right.
As if imagine being punched to the face, falling backwards. You're going to throw your hands back. Imagine being shot in the head. The force of that bullet velocity pushing your body back into that ditch line. He was laying at an incline with his head down towards the ditch. That's how you feel. If that's a vehicle right there, that he went up to the passenger side of that vehicle and looked in, that's the way he would have went. You know, again, our question is, was there ballistics done? Was that actually his gun that shot him in the head?
Exactly.
Did somebody else shoot him in the head, shoot a round off? You know, there's some smart people out there. There's people that knows how to do this. And then threw his gun, put his gun down in his hand. Of course, we've done talked about one of the most common things there is on a homicide cover-up is a S side. If you want to cover a homicide up, turn it into a S side. Put some powder residue on their hands, put the gun in their hands, put a note down there.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, that's a S side. Only thing you need to have here is a note, a video. So it's no problem putting powder residue on somebody's hands. What if when they got ready to shoot, he grabbed the
Grabbed
gun?
it.
He grabbed the gun with both his hands. See, it's a revolver. Not like a semi-automatic. Semi-automatic, you grab the barrel, you may get the one off that's in the slide.
Mm-hmm.
But if there's not one in the slide, that slide's not going to go home and chamber around. Revolver, no problem. Pull the hammer back, that bullet's going off.
Yeah, the cylinder just turns and so.
Yeah, the cylinder, it's already got that one there. Now, some semi-automatics will shoot like that. Some won't. Some won't shoot if the slide can't move, so forth like
Right.
that. Everything's. But study these pictures good as we go. Go ahead and go to the next one, babe, please.
Gotcha.
You can see it's wet. You can see it's rainy. Now, this is the next morning. This is the next morning. Guys, can you see the gentleman bent down there with Levi's on and
Brown boots. Looks like.
brown shoes?
Mm-hmm.
Some kind of badge on his hat, some kind of on his uniform. It looks like a star maybe to us.
Right.
Might be the sheriff's department, or it very well could be the coroner. Don't matter who it is. Now, you got to imagine Johnny's body's already taken to the morgue, to
Okay.
the funeral home. They've laid this tarp down there, this silver tarp, heat blanket, burn blanket, whatever you want to call it, probably to collect evidence. They've laid it down there where Johnny's body was at because it's wet. They can't chalk out a line. They can't. It's raining.
Okay.
So they've laid it down there to mark the spot.
Okay. Preserve it or what?
Look what's laying on top of it. That's a flashlight.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you don't see nobody else holding flashlights because it's daylight. Very well could be this guy's flashlight. We don't think it is because he bent down there and picked it up. If you'll notice, the reason we don't have DNA, there was no DNA back then, or not at least to the level that it is now, but
Right.
he's using his hands, no gloves. He's picking it up barehanded. Let's get back
Right.
to that.
Yeah.
He's picking that flashlight up barehanded. I don't think that's his flashlight. Remember, in the reports that we've got over the last couple of months,
Mhm.
we've been told that his flashlight was found 5 feet from his body.
Yeah.
When he was shot, the flashlight went backwards, threw it 5 feet from where he landed.
Yeah.
They're picking that flashlight up there. Who is that? Who is that gentleman picking the flashlight up? Go ahead and go to the next one, punk.
All righty.
Some of these may be duplicates. We tried to get, there's his face, if that'll help you any a little bit. It's blurred, but
Mm-hmm.
there's his face. And there he is with the flashlight in his hand. You can see it's up in the air now.
Mm-hmm.
He's got it completely up. You can see this trooper right here in front of us in the gray jacket. Who is that? 3 of the troopers have raincoats on. This trooper only has his coat on. There's his, somebody was asking about the gun and just a strap. There's his 357 on his hip. State police didn't go to, I think they finally went to 10 millimeters. I don't know what they carry now, 40s, I believe. But state police is one of the last agencies around to go to semi-automatics. It took them forever, but they're
Wow.
carrying revolvers there.
Yeah.
But if you'll look, imagine this. We could be wrong. These troopers here, 4 troopers, and they've either got their winter coat on with the fur around the top, or they've got
The rain.
raincoats on. Weather's not changed. This is the same weather that Johnny Edrington experienced at 12 o'clock that night or 2 o'clock in the morning. He would have had his coat on. He would have had his raincoat on. Where are they at? Are they accounted for? Would that explain why Trooper Asher says in his book and on this video that his uniform was perfect? Nothing was wrong with it. I don't hardly believe that because somebody just shot this man in the head. Uniform wasn't perfect. We've also got reports from other people that we feel would,
Reliable.
reliable,
Mm-hmm.
that his tie was out, that at least one button was missing. That's not a perfect uniform if that's true. Who do we believe? Who do we
Good
believe?
point.
But one thing we can believe is that Johnny Edrington would have had his coat on or his raincoat. That's 4 different troopers and they've got one or the other. Would he have got out on a traffic stop and it raining with the way police officers are about getting their uniform wet? I don't know if they wore vests back then. Did he have a vest on? Is that why he was shot in the head? Did they know that he had a vest on? No need in shooting him in the chest. We got to get a headshot.
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
Go on. Look in the background there. You'll see there's 8. Is it 8? There's 8 guys. The guy in the red jacket. You've got the trooper with the coat on.
That's 2.
You've got the 2 in the white tennis shoes.
4.
1 in the baseball cap.
5.
And okay, we got
Wearing
the one in the red.
Mm-hmm.
We got 4 troopers, 1 in the red. That's 5. The man bent down there is 6, and the 2 in the tennis shoes, 7, 8. So there's 8 people that was there during this time, and
Not exactly.
you got 1 in the red, you got 4 troopers, you got the corner or whatever he is, and 2 in white tennis shoes.
Okay. What about the person who filmed all of this that was going on? Was that another police officer?
I don't know.
So that would make it.
When did you come up with this? Where'd you
9.
go, punk? Yeah, make it 9. There's 9 people there, guys.
Yeah,
Who's operating this camera?
exactly.
There's 9 people there. Now, are we to believe even the guy in the red, or we believe that's just a bystander just stopped by? Hey guys, what's going on? Is this where that trooper got killed? See, that ain't going to happen. So that guy in the red has got some kind of, either that's a London police officer, maybe. It's somebody to do with something because the state police have not run him off.
He's got some kind of official capacity in
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
Because they would have run him off, especially the state police and one of their own getting shot. They wouldn't want nobody else in on the investigation in case they do want to cover up, which apparently, according to Mr. Asher, they was. So, so this guy here in the red coat has to be somebody with some authority or he wouldn't be there. And they have to trust them, the state police, or they wouldn't have them there. They would have run them off.
Right.
Look what they did to Sheila and I, 40-year career police officer. As soon as we found Mr. Couch's remains, first thing the troopers say is, you guys going up top, talk to the detectives. Y'all got to go.
There's someone
Really?
waiting up there.
40-year career police officer, seen numerous thousands of deaths. Get out of here. So that's the way they do it. That's the way that agency, that's what they're known for. That's the thin gray line. Go on, babe, to the next one.
Okay. Whoops.
That's okay.
Pass it up. There's a good one.
Yeah, a clearer one with the guy in the red. There's a van going by up the road over in the passing lane. See, this lane here, you had 2 lanes going up toward, in the back there, towards the face that the guy in the red jacket's facing. That's toward Pulaski County. That's looking toward Pulaski County.
Okay.
So as they're coming up this little incline, going toward London, they've got over, that van has got over in the opposite lane. I'd say they've probably got a cruiser parked up here and on the other side so they don't get hit. But go ahead and go to the next one. There's your white tennis shoes again.
Right. There's 2 sets of those, as you can see.
Now I'm going to tell you who could help us here. Go ahead. Who could help? There's the flashlight he's holding in his hand, guys.
Yeah.
See the flashlight pointing up in the air? That's a better picture of the flashlight. A better picture of the star. Looks like a star on patch on the side of his jacket. I could be wrong. It could be state police, but I think it's a star. So it's either the corner. I don't know what that is, Sheila. I don't know if that's a.
That looks like one of those heat blankets, those silver.
Yeah, I know that, but what's the black? Is that a pair of gloves? There's one trooper there. In fact, you're looking at him right there.
Yeah, you can see him. He's next to the guy that's.
He's got black gloves on. There's one trooper that's got a pair of black gloves. Now, that doesn't mean anything. Don't read into it because this is winter time. It's cold weather. It's raining. And back then, we didn't use Not that they wasn't around, probably. I don't know, but I know nowadays they've got black surgical gloves. But back in that day, we either used the latex, flesh colored gloves or the blue ones.
Is the
So
gentleman in the gray jacket, is he wearing gloves too, or does it just look like that?
I think that's something the other guy over there is
Is
holding,
holding?
period.
Okay.
I could be
Okay.
wrong.
So let's
Go
go
to
to
the
the
next
next
one.
one.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the
State police post. You don't need it. That's okay. That's post 11.
sorry.
It's okay. That's behind us, though.
Here's this one again. Now there's the van again.
See the no, that's a trooper here. But so that very well, the guy bent down there could very well have a state police because that almost looked like a star right there, didn't it? On this
It
trooper.
does,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
So that could be they could be 5 state police. The guy bending over picking up the flashlight very well could be
Hmm.
a trooper also. Guys, I'm gonna tell you who could tell us. I'm gonna tell you who could tell us, and that's Stewart, Phelps, Lewis, Asher. They could tell us who these guys are.
Are one of these
Is
them?
anyone, huh?
Are any of these them?
Yeah. Is
One
this,
of those
you've
three.
got 4
Yeah.
troopers there. And then you've got Asher and you got the 3 detectives he names. There's your 4 troopers. Is that who that is?
Yeah.
It'd be nice to know. Again, they're retired now. They're not under any. This is not the Pentagon. This is not
Mhm.
top secret material. This is not something, goodness sakes, turn it loose. Maybe somebody out here can pick up on some of this stuff. If the state police, if they're not going to solve it, if they'll turn the file loose, release some pictures, release some information, so people can start working on it. A bunch of people together may be able to solve this for them.
Yep.
Go ahead,
Never
babe.
know. Anything's possible. Here's another one.
There you go. Now you see their rain covers.
Uh-huh.
Now you can see a good picture of this guy in the red. Look at his face. Who knew this man 36 years ago? Now he's in his 30s there probably. So he's older now.
Dark-headed.
But see the badge on the gold badge on the front of his
that
hat?
kind of stands out.
Looks like a
doesn't it?
badge figure.
Mm-hmm.
And here's this one with the silver jacket on. Tells me that's very possibly, I don't know, I ain't gonna say, but tells me that he doesn't work the road a lot. He just threw his winter coat on. He's not out there and he's not planning on being out there for a long time. He's just stopping by or my opinion,
Mm-hmm.
because if you're a road trooper, you're going to be out there for a while. You're going to be dressed like those other 3. You got your rain covers on. You got your raincoat. You plan on being there for a while. Who is the guy with the blue jacket on? And who is the guy bending over? So we need to talk to.
Yeah.
We'd like to interview these people, guys. We would love to know what you guys saw back then, what you're looking at, what you're talking about. Give us your thoughts. Mr. Phelps, I see him on Justice for Doug. I know he's he's like me. He talks.
Verbal.
He's very verbal. Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that. Again, I'd rather a person be verbal and put it out there. But if you're verbal, help us out. And I know there's a lot of rumors. This is his chance, along with the other ones.
Exactly.
We've got questions. Be like Radio Shack, where we've got questions, have answers, and we can put a bunch of these rumors to rest, and we can move this case forward. He can either convince us to come over to his side and say, hey, this was a S side, or we can convince him with what we've talked to and what we found out over the last month and a half. And he says, whoa, we wasn't aware of that then. Yeah, maybe we jumped the gun a little bit. Well, you never know till we talk. Sheila and I would love to talk to these people. We'll treat you right. We're not going to ambush you.
Mm-mm.
We'll ask you the questions. Give us the answers. Or if you've got questions, ask us. You got any more, Punk?
Let me see here. What I've got now is like the road.
Show the road there. Guys, right there it is. Now, if you'll look to the right, and you're going to see a double lane. That's a passing lane.
Mm-hmm.
That is 2.4 miles from Pulaski County. Pulaski County is behind. If you're looking at that screen, imagine Pulaski County's behind us. Looking straight ahead, you're going toward London, Kentucky.
Okay.
but you are 2.4 miles exactly from the bridge there at Rockcastle County River at the Pulaski and Laurel County line. And you see the guardrail sitting there. Somewhere between that guardrail and the back part of this picture
Mm-hmm.
is where Johnny Edrington's car was parked. And he was about 20 feet in front of his car and over in the ditch line to the right there. The car that he had pulled over, that he pulled over or was pulled in behind him, he was at the passenger side of somebody's car,
Mm-hmm.
either in front of them or behind them. We don't know. That may be in the file. They may have something there to indicate. Well, they probably don't because they're calling it a S side. Remember, the same people. Asher says at the front of that video, he says, you can't solve a homicide that's a S side.
Right.
No, you can't solve a homicide that's been investigated as a S side. If you didn't look for tar tracks, if you didn't look for this person or that person, if you didn't go interview this person or that person,
If you didn't use all your leads,
yeah,
that takes you to a different place, and you just went by what you saw, then yeah.
or yeah, and if you're looking at a gun in his hand,
Right.
Asher says 3 to 4 times
Mm-hmm.
he had a gun, still had the gun in his hands, still had the gun in his hands. He still had the gun. And you're going to hear Dr.
Unsacred.
Hunsaker tomorrow talk about powder test, powder residue test.
Mm.
We'll get on that tomorrow. But on this one right here, you can investigate a homicide, but you got to investigate it as a homicide or as a homicide, S side, anything. But you don't call it within an hour or two without a note, a video. There's something that's got so extreme. Who in the world, just because he's got a gun in his hands,
Mm-hmm.
he's got the gun in his hand that has no logical reason to still be in his hand when he falls back. Oh, when he falls backwards,
Mm-hmm.
he's got no logical reason to still be holding on to that gun. That gun's still in his hand, pointing at him at this point. It's even pointing at him.
Yeah, wouldn't all his muscles function go limp? I mean,
Well, we've heard people say this and that, and
yeah.
Sheila, again, we're going to talk about that tomorrow in Hunt Singers because he mentions this and that possible, this
Mhm.
and anything is possible in life. We all know that,
Yeah. Stranger things
but
have happened.
command staff went to post. The reason they went to post is because they heard detectives. There's 9 people. Sorry, babe. I had 8 here.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
8
what we were
men.
talking about. Because in the video you can see them when we counted them all, and then you're seeing 8, but we're
Good job.
forgetting the person who's filming.
You're not forgetting them. I didn't even think about them. Good job. Because I counted 8. 3 troopers in uniform, raincoats with hat covers. 1 trooper wearing gloves, not uncommon for wintertime.
Mm-mm.
1 trooper in a winter coat, making it 4 troopers total. 1 may be a deputy sheriff or a coroner in a brown raincoat and hat in Levi's. Picking up flashlight, no gloves, daylight. So that was more than likely Johnny's flashlight. Can't see them having a flashlight on the side of the road in at daylight.
Right.
Was the cruiser parked back far enough from the end cap to have had a violator in front? Look at that end cap. Look at the right-hand side of your ditch there. That's a guardrail going down through there and veering off to the right
Mm-hmm.
on the other end.
Mm-hmm.
Where he was stopped at right here at the bottom of this picture,
Mm-hmm.
he would have had enough room there. I think one of my assumptions is that he was traveling toward Pulaski County.
Mm-hmm.
He gets on this straight stretch. Somebody's opening it up down through here. Radar picks him up at 79. He turns on him down through here, and this is where the violator pulls over at.
Yeah.
Now, did the violator know him and get out of the car? And they relaxed. He didn't put his hat on. Did the violator jump out of his car so fast that he didn't have a chance to put his hat on, and they went over to the side of the road there to talk?
Mm-hmm.
Or did he walk up to the passenger side of somebody's car stick his head in. Hey guys, what's going on? You're going a little bit fast there, or whatever. And then somebody shot. Did they shoot with their own gun?
Right.
Because we don't have the test and no ballistics. And is there another bullet that was there besides Johnny's?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what is confusing, is because of where he had a spotlight on there. So, he would have walked, like you said, possibly up to the passenger door, and then he was uh, shot from that
Asher
point.
says his post, the local coroner, and the state pathologist were removed from the case. Well, we're going to talk about that tomorrow
Right.
in the ME's exam.
Mhm.
Remember, this was an associate. This was a assistant pathologist, medical examiner. This is
Okay.
not the man. It's not even the second man at the time. He was just an assistant. Had the gun in his hand over and over and over. He says it.
Yep.
He wants you to know that he had the gun in his hand. One of the most common types of homicide is often disguised. I'm not going to re-emphasize. Guys, tomorrow's video will be on Dr. Huntsinker.
Do you want to show these here?
Yeah.
This is like where he's pulled off.
Yeah, there's your traffic stop. Look
Mhm.
where we all, there's three types of traffic stops for police officers. We either park off to the right, and if you've got oncoming traffic there and somebody's DUI or they're not paying attention, they veer off the road to the right and they hit the rear end of that cruiser. That cruiser is going to run into the back of that vehicle in front, but the cruiser's not going to hit the officer standing there. He's off. He's in that little 2-foot gap. That car is offset over to the side.
Mhm.
Now, there's another offset you can do. That's one.
Mhm. Let me bring the other
It's
one
okay.
up. It's down here.
The other offset
right here.
is where you're on the inside. This lady has parked her cruiser on the inside,
Right.
leaving about a foot there. That's all she's trying to do there is get her car off the road, because this guy's probably parked closer to the highway. And if she got out of her car, if she parked where he did,
Mhm.
she would be directly out. Her door would open up onto the road. She'd have to watch somebody taking her door off. So there's one where you park on the outside the violator, one where you park on the inside the violator, and the other one is where you park directly behind the violator.
Mhm.
Yeah. And
I think
so
that's
tomorrow's video, and hopefully by the time this one comes out today, I'm hoping that some of these detectives, Sheila and I, will buy your dinner. We can meet at the Waffle House or somewhere. That's where we eat. Some of our viewers, every time we go in there now, people recognize us. But
yeah. Little gentleman the other day did.
oh yeah, and we'd like to meet with you. We'd like to talk to you and ask you some questions. If there's something you don't want to answer or you don't want to talk about, that's fine.
Sure.
In closing, Asher says, let them say it. They at least seriously asked him at the end, said, what do you think about people that says it's been 36 years, 35
Right.
years, let it lie? He says, they let them say what they want.
Let him say it.
The truth is the only way to go, Asher said. We didn't play that part, but it's on there. Go to WLEX and watch the video.
I think we did.
Oh, did we?
Yeah. I
The
think
truth
so.
is the only way to go. Laughable. See? That's laughable. The truth is the only way to go 35 years ago.
Mm.
The truth should have come out 35 years ago, not after we're drawing a 30-year retirement from the state police. Because if somebody's lying one way or the other here. We got two stories. Asher says it's S side, and they covered it up. They're saying it's homicide, and he was wrong. And so somebody's lying. Definitely a cover up. He definitely titled his chapter correct. But who covered up? Who covered up for the last 35 years? If it's a cover up, it was covered up for the last 35 years. What? We write a book and it makes it right now? That, okay, we're coming clean. It's time it comes out. It's time it comes out after Dr. Vincent so-and-so's dead, after several of these people are now deceased. The ones that could retract or contradict what Asher has said. A lot of those people are deceased now. State police say they will not rest until the case is solved. Well, must be some pretty tired people after 36 years. Release the files so others can view them, and let's see what we get. Release the photos. Release the interviews that they done back then. Final question for Asher is there any truth Is there any truth? This is not just to Asher. This is to any of the detectives, any of the state police at the time. Guys, we know there's other state troopers out there at the time. You're still law enforcement officers. You're still, you tell the truth. Everybody come out. Let's tell the truth. It has been a long time.
Okay.
36 years is a long time. Is there any truth to the fact that Edrington and another trooper got into a fist fight, or at least an altercation in the parking lot at Post 11? Right there, guys.
Mhm.
That's Post 11 right there behind us. Is there any truth? Sheila and I have been told
Yep.
that at least one trooper and Johnny Edrington got in a fist fight within a few days of his demise. We know how many days, but we're not, if it's true, we were told the amount of days, but is that true? And if that's true, that's the most alarming thing that could ever come out on this, besides the guy actually seeing a violator or somebody pulling out from Johnny's car that we know it's not an S side now.
And what would they be arguing over?
What would they be arguing over? What action was taken?
Mm-hmm.
What action? If they're on the state police parking lot, if this is true, now again, guys, we know there's rumors. We know there's rumors, but that's what we're trying to do. We're giving everybody the chance to clear up these rumors, because this, if you want to call it a rumor, this was told to us. Well, told to us by a couple of people, three people,
Right.
three different people. Is all three of them hearing rumors, or is there truth to it? Because at least one of them was somebody we would, well, we trust all three of them,
Mm-hmm.
but at least one of them was a police officer. Is that true? And if it is true, what action was taken? What action did Doug Asher take if he's the captain of that post and he's actually got two of his troopers out in the parking lot fighting it out? Did he discipline them? Is anything in their files?
Exactly.
Did he
Written up.
discipline one, let the other one go? Did he?
Yeah.
If it's true, and if it's not true, please put in the comments,
Right.
somebody with some credibility, not just, you got to tell us, or you got to meet with us, and you
Right.
got to explain things to us.
Exactly.
Or, yeah, that happened, but it had nothing to do with this or that was over this, or that's an interesting find. If it's true,
That's a doozy.
if it's true, you got two state troopers out in the parking lot fighting
Mm-hmm.
behind your state police post, and people had to,
Mm.
guys, we need help. If the story is in fact true, was one of them appointed to investigate Edrington's death? See, we've been told that. Now, you can call it a rumor, and it very well could be. So don't take what we're saying at fact. We got a disclaimer on here. And like I said, we don't,
Right.
Sheila and I don't care about, we ain't got a pot to pee in or a window to throw it out. So we're on a mission. We're on a mission from God. You can laugh at that if you want, but God's put this on our heart. We know some of the family, and sweet.
Mm-hmm.
We feel with grandchildren and a child, it's only right. If this man's correct in this book, then you can't change it.
No.
There's people that does this all the time. Feel sorry for the family, but you say, hey, this was a S side. It's okay. At least you know. But if there's one iota that this was not a S side and they was wanting to call it a S side or have called it S side 36 years later, sad on you. Hopefully nobody ever does your family like them. And you can sit there and say, we love the family. They were a good family. He was a good trooper. Okay, I got you. That's belittling though. That's, you can't stab somebody in the back while you're saying, oh, that was a good family. I like Jack.
Well, yeah.
We don't know. We are asking. We're not asking to start rumors because they already exist. But if we can clear them up, we will. If you guys will help us, we can clear some of these rumors up. I mean, if we'll take you at your word. If you say there was no fight in the parking lot, there's no fight in the parking lot. If you say there's, he done this, he done that. But if the only evidence we have of an S side is a gun in his hand and powder residue, wow, we're willing to throw our veteran, forget the KSP. We're going to throw an Army veteran. You're going to hear more about this tomorrow. in Dr. Huntsinger's part. We're hoping by the time we get Dr. Huntsinger's part out, that at least one of the 3 detectives contact us and say, "Hey, I'll talk to you. I ain't got nothing to hide.
That would be awesome.
I'll fill you in. And that's the way to do it. That's the way. You're not bound by secret organization. Now you're retired. You're out of it. Tell us what you know. If the state police won't let us see the file, I'd rather have what's in your head than what's in that file. I like to have what's in the file too, won't we, babe?
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Join us tomorrow, guys. Tomorrow's probably more
Stay
interesting.
tuned.
Tomorrow will be a short video because it's, but it will be interesting on the little bit that we have to say.
All
You
right.
got anything else?
Nope. That's it, I guess. All right, guys. Thanks for watching today. Thanks for always tuning in, and thanks for all that you all do for us. We appreciate each and every one of you. Please like, subscribe, and share.
Guys, if you would share this video.
Yeah.
These videos only get a few views.
Hmm.
And this, in order for us to ever get this case reopened
To get the word out.
and get to the bottom of this, it's going to have to go a lot bigger than Sheila and I. We're going to have some media, somebody pick up on this and put some pressure on the state police, on the governor, Attorney General's office. We know a lot more than we're saying. We know a lot more. And we know it to be fact, some of the other things. Some things is questionable. And the best way to clear the questionable things up is to give people the time to do it. And the platform, they can use our platform to set the record straight.
Right.
Some people complains, and rightly so, because I was a police officer for 40 years. I know all about it. I know what it's like to write somebody a ticket, take them to jail, and I know that. I know what goes on. I know how people are and how dirty they can be. But you have the right here to defend yourself. You have the right here to clear up these rumors. And you couldn't talk to a better person because as a 40-year career police officer, I know about it.
Exactly.
So just talking with us is going to have some leverage, just taking the time to say, "Hey, I'll tell you what I know." And that's where it goes. And that's all we can go on. Thanks, guys.
Thank you all. God bless. Bye.